Welcome back to Super Sunday Matchday to St James's Park now, where Mauricio Pochettino hit out his Chelsea players for being soft after they were beaten 4-1 by Newcastle. Pochettino labelled it their worst performance of the season. So he accused them of not being able to read the game from the beginning. Did you see it like that?
He certainly, it slipped away from them very easily. And they weren't up against a full-strength Newcastle, by Newcastle missing 12, 13 players. I do feel that the problem is, again, I know this is an easy allegation and managers change their teams a lot, but what is the best Chelsea team? What is the ultimate side? So, yeah, I mean, Craig Hope makes a really good point in the Mail on Sunday. He said, while Chelsea's bench boasted an embarrassment of riches, Caicedo, Mudryk alone cost more than £200 million. Newcastle's was worth just 16 million. And included 3 goalkeepers and 4 academy graduates.
And
so
Miley
that's how,
as well, academy, the 17-year-old.
So, yeah, so you've got Lewis Miley had a really good game, 17 years old, up against Enzo Fernandez, who cost Chelsea more than 100 million. It's just not falling for Chelsea at the moment. No. Again, they've made massive changes. I mean, unprecedented squad building, big numbers. And there is going to be a period of adaptation, but it's starting to look like that period is going to go on a lot longer. I mean, not all of these players are going to work out. I think the club would accept that as well. I just feel that when clubs go through periods of adversity, and Newcastle's injuries is a period of adversity, they're just handling it better. I mean,
just to score 4 goals when you've got
Alexander Isak, what a player he looks like. I mean, he's had problems with his fitness, but he just seems like when you're going to spend big on a big goal scorer, that's the kind of quality that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea are having their problems, aren't they? What are the papers saying? I know that their defence seems where that they've got the problems. I think they've conceded now in the last 6 games, I think, in a row.
Yeah, I mean, there is context around this defeat, and it's this. Only Arsenal, City and Liverpool have won at Newcastle, St James's Park, in the league since Eddie Howe took charge 2 years ago. It's a fabulous record. But the manner of the capitulation yesterday is quite something, and this is why Poch is angry. Have a look at the back page of the Mail on Sunday, and it tells us that far from being as conciliatory as he has been in recent weeks and understanding and at pains to tell us, look, young team learning and to play together. Yesterday, the gloves are off. He's cancelled the 2 days that he had plans for them to
today,
have some downtime because he says, look at the subdeck, that they were soft yesterday. And he also, to go further into his comments, talked about them not really appreciating the importance of the points yesterday because they are still within range of the top 4. Some people might say 10 points is a lot, but for a team with the quality of Chelsea, and you've been talking about the value of some of the players there, that should not be insurmountable. And yet they didn't play yesterday as though they wanted it. The desire wasn't there. Now, there are 2 things to make clear here. During previous, during 2 of Pochettino's predecessors' reigns, there had been concerns about the direction of the club and were they the right man. Pochettino's the right man. We know what he's done with young players at Spurs. We know what he did with young players at Southampton. And so he's the best man to do this job. The problem is that I think the squad has been assembled from a business perspective rather than a football perspective. And by that, I mean Chelsea clearly didn't want to keep going to Brighton and giving them money for their players, 60 million here, 50 million there, 100 million there, and let's get your manager for 20 million and all his backroom staff for another however many million. They wanted to do that themselves, bring their own players, and that's what they've done. But the problem is there are so many players there, as you say, they're trying to get something that's settled, that works, and it's not working at the moment. That's why Pochettino's angry, and that's why they've got some work to do. And that's why by the time it does start to work from them, there's that real concern that the top teams, the settled teams, the Arsenals, the Liverpools, the Cities, they could disappear over the horizon. And that's the worry for Chelsea.
Well, it is working for Newcastle and it's working for Anthony Gordon. What's the situation for him at the moment? Because he's potentially could play for Scotland. He's already played for England, not in the senior squad. So what should he do? Because Southgate said he's very close to a call-up. What do you feel he should do?
Well, at the risk of upsetting all my Scottish ancestors who are Wallaces, I think he should wait for England. I think there's obviously a real competition now among the home nations, among a lot of European nations, because so many young men are dual nationality.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting part. Obviously, we've seen Scott McTominay, who was born in England but has become a key part of the Scotland team. A lot of the great Wales teams that did so well at the Euros were English born. But nationality is something very personal and very private, and it can't just be defined by where you were born. It's something that has to be decided. Anthony Gordon will be an England international at some point, a full international. He will, in all likelihood, be a starter. He was a crucial part of that under-21s team who won the European Championship. In fact, he looked head and shoulders above some of his European peers, a really top player. And I would say to him, without wishing to do Gareth Southgate's job for him, look at Declan Rice, look at Jack Grealish. That was a bit of a painful parting from Ireland. And I have my own feelings on the way that we put pressure on young footballers to make decisions about nationality very early in their careers and then stick to them.
Yeah.
And I know it upsets people on both sides of the debate, so maybe that's one for another day. But I feel Gordon is an England starter one day. Now again, nationality is a private and personal thing. He may feel Scottish, I don't know. But if he feels English, I think that path is open for him.